What is up? I'm Jared Welch's Aaron Halterman. It's Thursday, March 17th, and this is Blinkers Off the Man.
What is up, everybody? Yeah, welcome to the show. A rare weekend in March without a Kentucky Derby prep. That is really strange to say out loud. I can't believe we don't have one this week, but here we are. But it gives us a chance to kind of catch our breath and then regroup before the next 3 weeks.
Well, yeah, and it makes it like I would prefer to have a Derby action this weekend, but you know, March Madness is going on currently, and it kind of gives us something to be keeping us busy. And I know a lot of people that are racing fans that listen to this show also are obviously. I mean, everyone's betting on March Madness right now, so at least you have that. Normally, it does feel weird because normally, like Rebel Weekend, you've always got March Madness going, so that's kind of the depressing thing because normally we'd be down there. And you got a big racing going on, and then it's like, oh, and also, by the way, it's March Madness. But here we are.
It's what it is, right? They changed the schedule, and that's why you have this hole in the schedule. They changed it, and so now we have no Rebel, and there was no other track that thought, oh, we should slide something in. Like even the Sutherland Derby would kind of be cool to have this weekend on its own, But
yeah.
We have what we have, and that is, like I said, the Whitmore and the Essex. It's a really good card at Oaklawn. We got great racing, as always, at Gulfstream, Santa Anita, places like that. So a lot going on. But, yeah, it gives us that kind of time to catch the breath, regroup, and then it's going to be just 3 weeks of madness to steal the March Madness term after that.
Maybe we're expecting too much from our sport, but doesn't it seem too logical, like for Sunland to be like, hey, that weekend's open now, let's have that on our own, because now you're competing with obviously the Louisiana Derby the day before, and then you've got UAE Derby and that whole weekend. Yeah, it's on a Sunday, put it on a Saturday and make it like a decent card, and people might bet it this weekend.
They're running on Saturday tomorrow, or tomorrow when you listen to this, 2 days away from now. They are running a card at Sunland, so it's not like it would be too far out of the norm. I don't know. There's just not a lot of coordination when it comes to this, and that's where we're at, right? So we're stuck here with nothing. It's the moral of the story.
Dave, happy St. Patrick's Day to you as well.
Dave's having a big day. He's currently the only one with a perfect bracket in the Racing Dudes Bracket Challenge.
Jeez, he's got a perfect bracket completely?
Yes, he's 8 for 8 right now. He, like I said, there's 90 entries exactly. He's the only one with the perfect bracket. He's 8 for 8.
Damn, son.
And then there's 10 or 11 in second with 7 out of 8. So don't know who you have in these games right now that are going on, but 8 for 8 in the early games today for Dave.
Last I looked, I was on the second page, so I know it's not going well. Yeah. It's bad whenever it took 4 hours for me to lose Iowa in the Final Four. So started off rough, but I have had a few upsets that have gone my way. I don't know. Who do you have in the finals?
I have Gonzaga and Kentucky, and then I also have if I could remember, Wisconsin and Arizona, and then I have Arizona, Gonzaga, and then Arizona winning it. So I mean, I've lost games today, but I haven't lost like teams that I have been like that have gone a long way. It's just one round basically. But that's in jeopardy as UConn is they're getting beat with 4 minutes to go. They're behind. So we'll see if that sticks. But I've just lost one rounder so far, but I've lost plenty of those.
How far do you have UConn going?
I have sorry, Derby Bandit. That's bad news if we have the same Final Four. I have UConn winning 2. So that would not be good if they lost, but
it's tied now, isn't it?
It is a 2-point game, 55-53, 4:25 to go in that one.
Yeah, Mark, that's what I heard too. I heard a lot. I filled it out last night, like 2 a.m, because I was like, shit, I forgot about that. And so I filled it out. And somehow I just ended up with Iowa, and they were so hot ending the season. I thought, well, maybe they'll make a run. Well, apparently everyone thought they would make a run. So, I knew real quick watching that. I was able to watch some of the game early on, and then I watched the end of it. I knew early on, I texted you. I was like, this is not going to, like, they're not a Final Four team. They may win today. They obviously didn't, but I thought they just looked like shit. I don't know what that was. So,
No, they were awful. Yeah, they were awful today. And like I said, a team that had been playing really, really well. So, and they were bad.
yeah, Kentucky, look at that. That could be a big one. Kentucky 56-55 to St. Peter's.
Yep.
And I have Kentucky winning it all. So that would really cap off the whole thing, right?
Well, I have Kentucky in the Final Four, so
yeah. Well, I think I have Kentucky, Arizona. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, there was one person in the group that picked Iowa to win the national championship.
Hey,
so, there you go.
I'm doing better.
That's not good.
Well, hey, yeah. Hopefully, a lot of you that are listening are in that, so give us something to talk shit about for the next couple weeks. And yeah, it's always fun. It's like I remember I don't get worked up about it anymore, but you fill it out and you get pissed. And hey, Philly.
Visitor.
Philly. There's Philly. And I always get so pissed. And I'm like, dude, you watch almost zero college basketball all year. You fill out a bracket in 10 minutes and you're mad that you didn't have the perfect brackets. Like, it's March Madness. So
right. Yes, exactly. That's just what it is, right? I don't take the bracket too serious. The first weekend is very tough.
Mr. Okie dokie. We'll talk about our fantasy teams next, so don't worry. He says the only thing worse is talking about the bracket talk is talking about your fantasy team. We'll talk about that coming up. Don't worry. No, we'll try to save that. But no, so yeah, huge weekend, like you said. And oh, by the way, this is first funny story. And Dave, this is why I was so mad about this. Is I was watching the game and my little boy was like, I'm rooting for the blue team or whatever, because I was rooting for Iowa, and he's like, you know why? I said, why? Because he's 5. He's like, they're Spider-Men. I'm like, why did I not pick them? Like, that was like a no-brainer. I should have picked them. So the Spiders. So I started rooting for the Spiders just for him, and he was happy about that. But
there you go.
We burned up Dad's bracket, and the Spiders won. So, anyways, yeah, huge weekend coming up next weekend. Obviously, this weekend with the Oaklawn card, of course, the inaugural Whitmore Stakes, which will be fun to talk about. We had, of course, formerly known the Hot Springs, and this is it, guys. A month from now, we'll be done. The preps will be over. That's it's insane, dude. It's crazy because here in Missouri, it's just now starting to feel like spring, like just now.
Finally, short sleeve shirt.
Dude, I know, right? I got the deck stuff the other day cleared out, and like the deck, furniture back out and stuff. And but it's like we're a month away from basically all we're going to talk about is who's in the Derby. So shit, man, it feels like it just started. I mean, literally just feels like that week, the January 1st weekend there. And it feels like that was just like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It is. It is really just flown by. To me, it feels like the Pegasus just happened. And of course, that was in January. So, yeah, here we go, though. I mean, that's usually how it goes. It'll sneak up on you. And it's crazy to think the last round of preps are here next week. I mean, the 100-point race is finally here. And then, for us here at home, so to speak, Arkansas Derby a couple weeks earlier than normal. And how about this? Will Rogers opens on Monday.
You'll be making
totally snuck up on me as well. So it's crazy.
Hey, speaking of, while we're kind of just bullshitting here, I wanted to bring this up just to get the chat fired up. What are your thoughts on the announcement from Churchill Downs announcing their Arlington Million Day, which it took a second because at first you're like, wait, no, they're going to have it Churchill Downs, and it's a special day, one day before the meet even begins. What are your thoughts on, and let me look up the date. It's like August something.
August 13th is the date. And
Arlington Million, all the same, the pucker up and the same ones they run there normally at Arlington. Churchill squashes Arlington, then they bring their races there. That is just, I kind of assumed it would create some firestorm, but boy, it really did.
Well, anything they did was going to do this because what they did was wrong, right? So I guess if you're going to look at it glass half full, at least they're running in those races. They didn't just say the hell with them, but it is a stab in the heart to everybody that enjoyed Arlington, went to Arlington, called Arlington their home track, worked at Arlington, etc. Like, across the board, no matter how you're connected, it is definitely a stab right to the heart of all those people. Yeah, again, at least they're going to run them. That's about all you can say positive. There's nothing else. It's like sometimes people operate in their own bubble and they don't think what the outside world is going to think when they make announcements like this, or whatever you want to say, announcements or decisions. It's like, how did you think that was gonna? How did you think people were going to react to that? Because
I know, right?
You couldn't have been shocked. So
it does seem a little like, like we're doing the right thing here by having it, like we could have
that's how
just
they
killed it,
worded it.
and you never would have, saw it again. We're like, no, we're gonna have Arlington Million Day and pay respect, so to speak. But it feels a little bit like the hitman who killed the guy is coming back and been like, hey, we're gonna celebrate a day for him this week or whatever. And you're like, really? Because you killed the track and people weren't happy about it then, and now you're going to bring back the races but have it at your track. So it'll be interesting. The other thing too that I thought was that people started bringing up was like, it's one day. What if it rains? It's it's historic. It's a turf day. So what if it rains?
I guess you've got time for that turf course to recuperate before they open up again. So you just run them. I don't know. It's it's weird. When I read it, I thought, oh, they're going to open up for like a little summer meet. And no, just the one day thing. It's bizarre. That's the only way you can describe it. And you're right. They did kind of word it like, look what we've done. Yay us. And it's like, do you guys not think that there's going to be some mad people about this?
Yeah. How do you envision this playing out, in your heads? Because, but no, I took it as like, to be honest, it didn't really surprise me. I was like, well, sure. Why would they not do that? I mean, you get pissed about it all you want, but it's like, I mean, I'm not one of those like Churchill Downs haters. Like, I don't like love them, but I'm not like fuck Churchill all the time. So it doesn't really surprise me that they did it. And it's like, well, I'm still going to bet it. And people are like, still going to bet it. And it's still probably going to be a big day of racing. We'll see. But it is, it's also going to be competing, of course, with Saratoga as well, which makes it interesting there. So what Churchill Downs does. But yeah, see, people hate Churchill.
Well, I mean, I don't blame them, and I think some people were like, well, they're going to run it. They bought Colonial. They're going to run it at Colonial. And I think even if they did that, people were like, well, at least they brought it to a new track that maybe it'll draw some attention. And, Colonial Downs is not a bad place, but not a huge place. And maybe you get some people talking about it. No, they just put it at Churchill for a day. No big deal.
Right? Fuck it. We don't care.
Yeah.
Coming here.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Arlen's Million Day at Churchill Downs.
Yeah.
So, anyways, thought I'd bring that up. All right, we're coming up in like the next 2 minutes. We're gonna be talking all Derby stuff, and we're gonna kind of open this up. We're gonna talk about the races upcoming. We're going to talk about the horses that are on the bubble, the horses that are in, and just if you guys have thoughts, questions, comments, we'll bring them up. We'll try to answer all through those. And then we're going to do some rapid fire. We're going to do the 200K Whitmore, the 2 stakes action race, 8 races this weekend. Only 2 graded ones all weekend is at Oaklawn. The 200K Whitmore Stakes, which of course was the Hot Springs formerly, and then the Essex Stakes as well. Both at Oaklawn Park, both big purses. We'll cover those in rapid fire after Derby Talk. Let's go. Yeah, it looks like I think. Well, yeah. I mean, they got 4-point lead now. Surely Kentucky can close this out.
I would think.
They can't close that out.
They're playing St. Peter's. Like, come on.
Still doesn't give you a lot of hope, right?
Oh no. I mean, I wouldn't know. I think You survive in advance. It's these early games. You just got to win them. I wouldn't be discouraged as long as they win.
I think it's so interesting to me. It's always during, because it's always, this is the last game, last ditch effort. So these into these games are always so slow because all they do is foul. It doesn't matter if you're up 10, you're fouling. Or down 10, you're fouling, and you're just hoping to prolong the game. And that's it's kind of how crazy shit happens a lot of the time too.
Yeah.
Like even that Iowa game today, even though they were really out of it, at the same time, you're kind of like, hang on.
It took forever to finish that game. Yeah.
I know.
And they kept getting steals, and it's just like, oh my gosh, if freaking Richmond blows this, they're going to be so upset.
All right, let's bring up the Derby.
Well, Connecticut's going to get beat, so there's that. Oh man,
you have to wait another year to. Oh no, your bracket was perfect, or not perfect already. So don't worry.
No.
Yeah, St. Mary's just put it to him.
I just jinxed Dave there. He's no longer going to be undefeated.
The thing, dude, you know who looked really good today was North Carolina.
Yeah, they did.
I thought, they might make it a little interesting.
Yeah, they did.
UConn. I definitely don't think I picked New Mexico State.
No.
All right, let's do some Derby. See, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 left total. All right. 3, 2, 1. We have 1 month left of Derby preps. That's right. The last Derby prep officially April 16th, the Lexington at Keeneland. Of course, that's a minor race. 100-point race is pretty much from here on out, with, of course, the Son of the Derby thrown in there as well for a 50-point race to the winner. So, Halterman, 10 races remain in the 2022 Kentucky Derby prep schedule. Of course, the first Saturday in May, Kentucky Derby is ran. We're sitting here still, and yeah, we do have some standouts, some horses that we can know that are going to be there and that you can kind of feel like you're starting to learn a little more. But these next, 4 weeks are going to tell, 3.5 weeks are going to tell us everything, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it really starts on the 26th. Forget about the UAE Derby. That won't tell us much. But the Louisiana Derby is the first big one. And you have Epicenter down there. He has 1, 2 of the 3 stakes they have that are Derby preps. The one loss was to Call Me Midnight. Now, Call Me Midnight coming back. He is scheduled to face a rematch here with Epicenter. But once you get past those 2, you've got a lot of question marks. Pioneer of Medina, the 4th place finisher of the Risen Star, are going to come back in and run. The Brad Cox allowance winner from Oaklawn Park, Zozo's coming. And Rattle and Roll rumored to come for Kenny McPeak. After that, it's not very good. There's not a lot of horses left. It's very possible Epicenter has an easier time in this race as far as the field than what he faced in the Risen Star. So that's the first really interesting thing to look at when we start these these last 3 weeks.
Yeah, and like you say, I think the other interesting part to this is, like you said, all these new shooters, and then the fact that you have some of these horses like Classic Causeway last week who are obviously very securely in and look really good, but you're still going to see that one more effort from him, and maybe that gives someone enough, because the numbers aren't coming back incredibly strong for him, but he does sit at the top of the leaderboard, and he has looked extremely good this year. And so you're going to get those one more kind of visual tests. And even a horse like, the one-eyed horse who's up there on the list, I mean, you're going to get Nuno, whatever the hell his name is, you're going to get another peek at these horses who kind of you start to learn. I mean, even if it's a horse like Simplification or Forbidden Kingdom is a good one, or Morello, these horses that have looked good, but then that final race, is kind of going to tell you if for you, you individually that are handicapping the Kentucky Derby, they'll tell you like how you feel about betting that horse. I mean, it's hard to bet. It's hard enough to bet a horse right now when you do these future wagers, but you finally get that last prep in, and it can help you kind of secure the thoughts of even if the horse doesn't win. If you're like you've been on Smile Happy, maybe this is the moment he kind of breaks through and kind of gets back there to the winner's circle, or maybe he kind of tells you, you know what, I don't think he's going to be good enough to do it, and so this finally for even the good ones, it gives you one kind of final view. Like the worst is when a horse, say Classic Causeway, like that's what we were talking about the other day, you and I. It's like you want Classic Causeway to run somewhere again, because he will be the horse that burns you one way or another if they train up to the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And also you get a situation this year where if you go to the next week on April 2nd to the Florida Derby, you have a horse like White Barrio, who we haven't seen since the Holy Bull, and that's been a long time. And so now White Barrio comes in, like I said, haven't seen him since the Holy Bull, and he takes on Simplification, who won the Fountain of Youth, the race that White Barrio skipped. So that's a big test. We saw that White Barrio could beat Simplification in the Holy Bull. Has Simplification closed that gap? So the Florida Derby, very, very important to see how those two horses perform. And then you've got a horse like Charge It, who's coming in for Todd Pletcher, that has 0 points, coming off a maiden, and going to have to try to go up and face, a very accomplished group. So interesting to kind of see how that unfolds. Charge It is kind of the one that maybe Pletcher has a really, really good one here, but we saw that in the Fountain of Youth with Emmanuel, and it didn't work out. We have a lot of people asking, or a couple of people asking about Cyberknife. So it's on the same day, the Arkansas Derby, April 2nd. And Cyberknife, yes, he is pointing towards the Arkansas Derby. So Brad Cox flip-flopped the two. We thought Cyberknife would go to the Louisiana Derby, Zozo's Arkansas. No, they flip-flop. Zozo's to Louisiana, Cyberknife goes to Arkansas. And of course, Arkansas, the big news is the Philly Secret Oath officially heading there as well. So you get Secret Oath going up against the boys. You get Cyberknife, who absolutely needs points. We the People, another Cyberknife-ish type horse that has 0 points and needs points, 2 for 2 there at Oaklawn. And then, of course, like you said, Unoho and Barber Road should be coming back as well, the more established horses. So that Arkansas Derby is the opposite of the Florida Derby and Louisiana Derby. There's horses that need points and conceivably can get points in the Arkansas Derby.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at, for instance, your top 20 list, and you got horses like Emmanuel and Cyberknife and Zozos and Charge It. These are all in the top 20. Secret Oath. You could throw in like a Morello, even though he's got points. We still, there is still question marks with him. Classic Causeway. White Barrio is a really good one there. So these are horses that are all top 20. And the ones I mentioned first don't have any points or very few points at all. And so it's like for those, well, obviously for a horse like Cyberknife and Zozos and Emmanuel and Charge It, Secret Oath, even. I mean, if they end up, they actually, they say they're not going to run her in the Derby no matter what. We'll see about that. But this is it, right? You obviously have to be good enough to win here. There's no more time for these 3-year-olds if you're wanting to make the Kentucky Derby. So those horses are the ones, in critical danger of basically losing a shot to run here, because that's it. I mean, you're talking about allowance horses. Emmanuel had a shot at the Fountain Youth, finished 4th. He's got to be better. Charge It, we don't know yet. We'll see, but he should, Secret Oath. Like, these are all horses that must run well. Not even like even if a horse runs 2nd or 3rd, a lot of times they're like, well, they're not good enough and they'll skip and they'll go to the Preakness or whatever. So this is just a huge last couple weeks here when we go into the of course Louisiana Derby, UA Derby, Sunland, Florida, when you start to figure out who these horses are.
Yeah, absolutely. You talk about a horse like Emmanuel. The rumor is he is going to the Bluegrass. We don't know that for certain. To me, if I'm a horse that really needs points, or if I have a horse that really needs points, I should say, I'm pointing either to the Arkansas Derby or the Bluegrass. It seems like that's kind of the spot. But with Kenny McPeak, it seems like Smile Happy's going to go to the Bluegrass now. It's hard to guess, but Smile Happy's going to be there. Classic Causeway is going to be there. Doug O'Neill has said Slow Down Andy also could go there, give him one more shot at the Bluegrass. And then not Cyberknife, Zandon would be the other one. So if Emmanuel goes there, I don't know if he fits in quite as well with that group as he would in Arkansas. So I think that's a very interesting spot for maybe, somebody to go to try to steal some points there in Arkansas. The Bluegrass, I don't know, man. That's kind of some heavy hitters that are showing up there. So, and the other weird thing this year is the Wood Memorial. It seems like it's going to be a pretty strong race. And that's something that you haven't said a lot about in the past about that race. But Mo Donegal going up there, he's a horse that looks better with each passing week for Pletcher because horses that he's been competitive with have won. And then also Morello and early voting. Early voting's Withers win looks better every week because horses are coming back and running well out of it. And Morello, of course, gets a big number in the Gotham, going to stretch out for the first time. So all of a sudden the Wood Memorial looks very, very interesting.
Yeah, and I agree with it. Is weird, because Pletcher's had plenty of success with sending horses to Arkansas for the Arkansas Derby. So it is weird to me that he doesn't try that angle. Well, I'm with you.
I've heard Doppelganger could go to Arkansas.
Are you afraid of Doppelganger?
No.
I'm not. No. But I guess I get the fear, and so to speak. The interesting thing about the Bluegrass is there aren't. I agree with you. They're it's just way too many unknowns about those horses. While a lot of them are not. There's not like a, whoever Epicenter's not going there, or Messier or whatever. But you still have a bunch of other ones who need points. So you're going to it's going to be tough. Like Emmanuel's going to have to be, and I think the fact that they changed. Okay. How do you look at the chart? By the way, Messier, someone asked, Messier is running in the San Antonio Derby. That's where he's going. He's been putting up bullet work. So this horse is ready to go. We're going to get the Forbidden Kingdom Messier matchup there. And we still don't know what, this horse is obviously still trained by Bob Baffert, who can't get points. So unless he's got a trainer switch prior to that race, Messier will not be running the Kentucky Derby, because even if he wins, he gets 0 points. And even if something changes in the legal proceedings, I still find it very, very, very unlikely that they would go back and whatever you want, what's the word, but they go back and backfill these past races with what they would have got. I just don't think that's going to happen. So to me, you're going to have a trainer switch prior to the San Antonio Derby if Messier is to run in the Kentucky Derby, which however you want to look at it, he's the best horse. So it's a bummer, but Preakness, I would say, for him. But back to the some of these Bluegrass and whatnot. When you look at the Todd Pletcher situation, obviously Mo Donegal will see him in the Wood. When you talk about after the Fountain of Youth, you're like, okay, Manuel, maybe he wasn't maybe he's not a freak like we thought, but he definitely deserves another try because he had a bad trip and he was wide and blah, blah, blah. Florida Derby, and then he switches them. Now Chargers going to the Florida Derby. And then we're like, well, I don't know where Emmanuel's going. We still don't know, like you say. So do you look at that Charge It is going to be it's his first try, in stakes, and it's an all or nothing type of situation. Let's not ship him. Let's keep it easy on him, as easy as we can. Or do you look at that he's the best Todd Pletcher horse and he's going to run him in the best prep, which is the Florida Derby?
I think I look at it as he was supposed to go to Tampa. Something had to have happened to him. Had to have a hiccup of some sort. Wasn't training very well. And so they just said, all right, we'll pause on him. We'll send him to Florida. Emmanuel's got a little more experience and we'll try to ship him somewhere. I mean, that's what it is to me. I don't think, I think Charge It at this point is the only one left for Pletcher that has that huge potential that's an unknown. I think we kind of figured out that Emmanuel, he is kind of what he is at this point. Maybe he can go to the Bluegrass and pick up a big win. But at this point, I'm not sure. And then you got Mo Donegal, and he's been penciled in for the Wood forever. So I don't think, I think it was just like, well, let's keep charging at home. He's had a setback of a minor setback, probably of some sort, if you read between the lines. So that's kind of what I think is going on there. I don't know who his best horse is. It might be Mo Donegal, and if it is, I don't think he's going to win the Derby.
I have unless to me it's Charge It and it's no one else. I feel like we're in a situation that you're going to have a couple. I do still think you're going to have 2 or 3 Todd Pletchers in the Derby because I think Charge It should be good enough. I still think, okay, we'll call him unknown. Mo Donegal should get in. And I'm banking on Emmanuel running, top 3 in his next race. So I don't think it's out completely crazy to think he's going to have 3 in the race. Definitely, I feel like 2 is possible. But I also think, whereas a month ago, we're like, well, which Pletcher is going to be the favorite? It's going to be one of them. And now you're like, are they all going to be like 10, 15 to 1? Like it just seems like we've definitely, his horses have just slowly fallen off one by one. To me, unless Charge It just freaks, and shows that he is like super, super good, that's the only horse that I could see taking strong attention to come Derby time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Mo Donegal will be the shortest price if he runs well in the Wood. I really do. The thing about it is with Charge It, he's going to have to be really good to win and to beat White Barrio in simplification. I mean, I just don't think there's a world where he does that. I just couldn't support him there. So it really it's an odd thing to be sitting here with these Pletchers and just be questioning what's going to happen with him and what's going to happen with these horses. I'm not quite sure. You also have a Pioneer of Medina, who I don't think is a threat, but can definitely get in the Derby because he's just got to finish 3rd or better in Louisiana next week, and he's going to be in. And it seems like an easier field than the Rhythm Star, so Pioneer of Medina might be able to qualify. He's one. It's like, shit, I didn't even remember that horse was trained by Todd Pletcher.
Yep.
He's the most un-Todd Pletcher-like horse ever. His last 3 starts now after the Louisiana Derby next weekend will have been at Fairgrounds. That's unbelievable.
By the way, I actually stopped looking. I just looked again. The Kentucky game's going to overtime.
Yep. Yes, Kentucky game going to overtime.
Unreal. How bad is that, man?
It's unbelievable.
All right. So yeah, I think it is interesting what I do agree with Pioneer Medina because that's the horse like no one's talking about. And I don't necessarily think he's overly good. I just think he might be able to pick up enough points to sneak in. So yeah, I do think Pletcher's gonna, but again, I just don't see them all as much threats in any of those races.
Yeah.
Someone asked about the Jeff Ruby. We thought for a while that Tiz the Bomb would end up going there after he had ran well. And sounds like he doesn't want to even go there now.
No, he's supposedly pointing towards the Florida Derby. The Jeff Ruby right now, I see 3 horses listed: Great Escape, God of Love, and Tawny Port. Tawny Port, the Brad Cox horse, has 2 wins over that surface. Then he shipped him to the Risen Star at Fairgrounds, did not run well. So now he's back at turf weight. But just that's all there is at this point. So the answer is we don't really know who's going to be in that race right now.
Yeah, and it's weird too. For a horse, I don't know, like for a horse that like Tiz the Bomb, who is talented. I don't think that's a debate there, but is he talented on dirt? I don't think he is, or at least he's definitely not Derby quality. But if you want to get in, you could just go run that circuit over there, and you get 50 points to win that thing. And no, it's 100. I'm sorry, yeah, it's 100. I forget that it's 100 now. So 140. I mean, so shit, man, you just gotta get in. So to me, I don't take anything serious that comes out of Turfway. I mean, it's just almost. I think was it Animal Kingdom? Wasn't he the?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't he a Turfway guy? Of course, that course ran on everything. But I just don't. I don't understand this logic of, okay, he went back to synthetics. He looked really good. Let's take him back to the dirt where he was awful the time before. I just don't. I don't understand that.
I've never understood it. I think it's crazy. I think it's absolutely crazy that's a 100-point race. I hate that race. If you want to make it 50, fine, and get the winner into it, that's fine with me. I don't care. But to make it 100 is pretty wild. But I definitely think, like I said, like Bree said, shit. I mean, it's an easy 100 points. I mean, if you've got one that's struggling and you think they can handle it, and that's why I just don't understand why Tiz the Bomb. If you want him in the Kentucky Derby, that's the race, right? Put him in that race. Like,
if your goal is to have a horse in the Kentucky Derby, why are you not in that race?
I don't know. I don't know the answer. Like, if your whole point of the first part of the season is to get him there, you ran him in Florida, he was awful. You came over here to Turfway and he won, and now you're going to run him back in Florida. I don't have an explanation for that one. To me, he's probably 8-5 if he enters the Jeff Ruby. So I don't know.
And you're gonna pick him, like he should win because, like you say, you don't even know like you don't have a lot of faith in who's over there. All right, so obviously we got a big couple weeks ahead of us here. Lots to find out. Obviously, we'll have tons of coverage on all that and kind of keep you guys updated as we find out more. But before we leave this segment, what race is there? Any race out of what's left that you got circled that you're just really thinking we're going to learn? This is I'm on the fence about this horse or whatever. And I need to see this one last race in order to me to go be over the edge with him.
Well, there's two. The Santa Anita Derby might be better than the Kentucky Derby if Messier doesn't go to Kentucky. Like, that's going to be an incredible race. Messier and Forbidden Kingdom. I mean, that it doesn't get any better than that. So I am overly excited about that. Honest to God, and I didn't think this would be the answer, but the Arkansas Derby is the one I can't wait for because we have Secret Oath, and she hasn't been asked to really run, and she's running buyers in the 90s. What if she goes all out? How good is she? Can she beat the boys? Will she beat them very easily? All questions that the answer, I mean, that answer to the last question could be yes. Like, what if she has another gear and she kicks it in and beats them by 5 or 6? I mean, it just throws a huge monkey wrench into this. And then on the flip side, not to think negatively, but it's certainly possible. What if she gets up against the boys and wilts? And then all of a sudden, Arkansas is really in trouble. Oh, wait, maybe they're not. What if We the People jumps up? What if Cyberknife jumps up? To me, that's the one with the most intrigue because it may be we are left with the same feeling after the Rebel where, wow, this is bad. These horses are bad. Or we could see a superstar jump up there. So Arkansas Derby, interesting. Biggest race, the race that has potential to be the most exciting, Santa Anita Derby.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely think the Santa Anita Derby on paper is the one I'm most excited for, just in terms of these horses are going to throw it down and it's going to be fun to watch. And for a lot of reasons, you might argue that it's Messier's Kentucky Derby, like you said. We'll know obviously before that who he's trained by it. But the other thing, I think the two races for me, if you don't count the Santa Anita Derby, like as far as pivotal, I think are the Bluegrass and the Arkansas Derby. Because the Bluegrass has kind of a mishmash of horses that are maybe a slight cut below, but they're still trying to get in, and horses like Smile Happy or Emmanuel or if you like the Take Charge Andy or whatever the hell his name is, you're gonna have at least that's an important race. The other thing with Arkansas, you said it. I think the fact that even like Secret Oath could freak, and all of a sudden we're spent talking the next 5 weeks or whatever, talking about. This is there's no Messier and there's like name some horse that won the Bluegrass and you're like who am I gonna pick? I mean, she kind of seems, and by the way, her trainer has done it a time or two, like, so it's not crazy to think that it's possible. It just, so you have that. And then the flip side, if she doesn't, a new shooter, kind of similar to what we're going to talk about in the Bluegrass, where you have the We the People or, you have one of the, the horse that makes it, maybe he's blossoming in at the exact right time. So to me, those are the two races that have the most intrigue in terms of bigger picture, for what it means for the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, but the Arkansas, like the final point is, and the Bluegrass, but they're a little more established in the Bluegrass. With Arkansas, I think the best thing about it is it is totally like we could be out at the bar that night after that and go, God damn, those horses are terrible that ran over at that track today. Like, wow. Or we legitimately could be talking about a filly winning the Derby, or we could be talking about, wow, Cyberknife sucked and now he's great. I mean, it's just like I'm nothing's going to surprise me, I guess, is a short way of putting it. Absolutely nothing. Like if an 85 buyer wins the race, I might be like, well, that's what it's been all year at Oaklawn,
These horses suck. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's just gonna be a wild race. I can't wait for that one. I'm really, really curious how that's gonna shake out.
Tons left to find out on this trail to the Kentucky Derby, and then tons to figure out as we lead up to the Kentucky Derby. So don't sleep on it. We obviously will have all your coverage for the Kentucky Derby at racingdudes.com. Tons of videos right here on YouTube as well. So make sure you stay tuned. You get an off weekend this weekend for the Derby Trail, but get your rest because it comes back hard the week after. Man, it's like I'm not watching the game, or else I would not be paying attention to you at all. But I'm just watching the score, and it just seems like every time it's like Kentucky's up 4 or 5, and then it's tied. I'm like, can they not hold a lead? Can they not play defense? What's the deal?
Well, they're missing free throws like crazy. I've got it on, and St. Peter's, every time they need a big shot, they hit it. And so St. Peter's is only down 1, and they have the ball with 1:50 to go. I mean, it's crazy. Kentucky was up 3, shooting free throws. They miss, and then St. Peter's nails a 3. And now Kentucky just fouled them.
20, they're 65% from the line tonight.
Yeah. So St. Peter's is on the line shooting 2 to take the lead with 1:45 left. So this is unbelievable. I mean, this would be, if this upset happens, I won't look at my bracket again.
No.
It's over. This is almost like a 16 beating a 1. This is as close as you're going to get when it's a 215.
Exactly. And the unlikely, like, yes, it's happened once, or what was it, like once in the last, it doesn't like you pretty much anytime you just assume, no, it's not going to happen, once all the way. But you get a 2, that, I mean, to me, a 215 is as bad as a 116.
Yeah.
Because Kentucky could have argued for a 1 seed if they would have gave a shit in the SEC championship. Like they just kind of said, fuck it. And, whatever. And they probably could have been a 1 seed if they would have won that thing. And so you're talking about, I mean, this is really bad.
I will bet they hope they are a 1 seed right now because they just turned it over. And so they're down 1 and St. Peter's has the ball. So we could be seeing
79-76 now.
Yep, there's the layup. Oh, wow. My God. Well, as we talk about the Whitmore and the Essex, we're going to have a major, major upset. Timeout Kentucky. So, wow.
Kyle Party's got to be thinking, well, good Lord, guys.
This was supposed to be a veteran team that he finally had.
I know, right? That's the big reason why I picked him. Was like, you know what? He's finally got like these guys, these vets are staying there, and no shit.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this would be insane.
I've seen some things today that have surprised me, but this is over the top. This is on another level. I can't believe that. It's March.
It is March. Where is this getting? What channel is that on?
I don't know. Let's see. What's it on? What is this one? I just flip them. This is
Is it the?
CBS.
All right, yeah.
And how about this? St. Mary 79, Indiana 49.
No.
Really? Like, are you freaking kidding me?
And those are the games that whenever you try to get sneaky and pick an upset or something, you're like, "God, was I that off?"
79 to 49? I mean, my goodness.
That team needs to be the 16 seed. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll do our best to give you an actual performance here on our. Maybe we should just cut into the because you got 47 seconds left. Kentucky here has the ball, not fouled. No, wow. They're gonna review that too. Even this might have gone off Kentucky.
See, that's the thing. Like you said, these games.
Yeah, we'll still be going when we're.
I was gonna say we'll be off the air before this is over. Yeah.
All right. We'll do a little Oaklawn action here. Got my Oaklawn koozie.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's do some rapid fire at Oaklawn Park this weekend. Of course, no Derby preps to talk about, but we got some action, some good racing action at Oaklawn this weekend. 2 stakes to talk about, and one we're very fond of, and that, of course, is race 7, formerly the Hot Springs Stakes, and it's now called the Whitmore Stakes. It's Whitmore Day, Saturday at Oaklawn Park. You don't have a Rebel, but at least you have Whitmore Day. Grade 3 now, 200K, 4-year-olds and up, 6 furlongs. Dude, this horse, he won it, 4 years in a row? Probably would have been 5 if it wasn't for TZ Rocket. Obviously, a race that as soon as he retired, you thought Whitmore has to have that race. It's got to be named after him. So it's cool to have Whitmore have his own race. Fill 9. We'll get to that in a second. How cool is it to see? We're Oaklawn guys, so it's neat to see Whitmore on a race.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know why Oaklawn doesn't do this more often, because they have plenty of horses they can do it with, and they'll call races like the Tinsel Stakes, some of these new stakes.
I know, right?
And it's like, the fuck are you doing? Like, you have all these great horses that have started here and ran here. Like, I mean, come on. And so I'm glad they did it with Whitmore. Pretty cool. Yeah, he's also going to be there. He's going to be paraded on the track, so that'll be really cool as well. Had some pictures of him in the stall the other day on Twitter. Pretty cool. So yeah, happy to see it, and happy that it drew such a great field. This is a really, really strong field, and it's a quote unquote Oaklawn type of field, right? Some locals that have really ran well, and so I'm very excited to see this.
Yeah, we need a Garhill Stakes. I agree with Bree.
Well, that's next.
That has to happen.
Well, he's got to win the Count Fleet, and then it's going to happen.
We'll change the count. Can we change the Count Fleet to the Garhill?
If he wins.
Garhill Fleet? No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's talk about the race here. We don't have any Moquette horses, but we do have 9 horses in the race, and you've got an interesting matchup between, say, if you like Hollis, who's been very, very good at 5.5 furlongs. You've got Greeley and Ben, who's won 12 of his last 13, the 8-year-old gelding for Broberg. Then you've got Bob's Edge, who was really good last time out at 5-2. You got Tulane Trist at 9-2. So you've got some interesting horses in here. But to me, like, a lot of people think Hollis is a class of the race, and maybe he is, but the 6 furlongs, how is that going to affect him here?
Oh, I think he'll be okay. He has flourished at 5.5 furlongs here, but the one race he had at 6 furlongs, he wasn't going to win that race at 4 furlongs, 4.5, 5. It wouldn't have mattered. He just didn't show up. He is inconsistent. I do think he is the most talented horse in the race, though. And Ortiz has had a great meet talking about the trainer, John Ortiz, Ricardo Santana aboard. So I think Hollis is going to be pretty tough here. But you're right. Greeley and Ben up there. He is a horse we have loved for a long time. Man, the horse is just a win machine. And he's coming off a stakes win at Sam Houston. He's also got a win at Oaklawn. I mean, he's ready to roll here. So this was a tough decision for me between those two. I ended up on Hollis. I just think if Hollis runs his best race, he's a little bit better than Greeley and Ben. And then my long shot is the 4 Knee Deep in Snow. I really like that horse. Won an allowance earlier here at Oaklawn. Last time out, didn't have anywhere to go, anywhere to run, gets bottled up and kind of draw a line through it. So I would go 9-3-4 in the spot.
By the way, they did give that ball to
Yep.
St. Peter's, and it's 81-76. So
They're
30,
beat.
31 seconds left. Yeah, they're beat. I mean,
Yep.
this is insanity.
Yep.
I do think I'm a little surprised that you picked Hollis after going. Whoa, shit. Maybe they're not beat. Hang on. Hang on. What the hell was that? I thought he was throwing it up. Hollis, to me, at 6 furlongs is concerning. I think he's really, really good at 5.5, and at 6, he's just good. And maybe that's all it's going to take here. But I do think that you've got a little bit of threats with a few. I'm on the 4 as well. I like Knee Deep in Snow. I think that horse, if you go back and watch that race, that race at Sam Houston, the last out, that's a pivotal race here because you got Grilly and Ben who came out of that and won that. Mr. Moneybags finished second, came back to win. This horse, I don't know if he's going to beat Grilly and Ben that day, the 4 Knee Deep in Snow, but he did not get a good run down the stretch. And then when he finally got room, he just kind of, came home. And so he finished 4th. I think it would have been a lot closer. So I think he's a solid outside shot at 8-1, but I mean, I'll do it for him. I'll do it for him since you're not. I'll do number 3, Grilly and Ben. He's just a hard trying horse. And I get that he's stepping up as a tough race, obviously his first, I believe it's his first graded stakes, but he's not done much wrong, and he's beating horses that come back to win. So he's beating he's winning good races. He loves Oaklawn. He loves this distance. And he kind of reminds me of a horse that no matter the class level, he's going to give you a tough run, maybe he's not good enough. Maybe you find out here, but I think if you can get anywhere in the ballpark of that 9-2, I think to me, he offers the most value of the race. And, not to forget, he lost 12 of the last 13. The only loss, which was second, to Just Might, who's really, really good.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, I think I picked Greeley and Ben like 12 times in a row. So it's very rare that I do not pick Greeley and Ben. He ran pretty well over this Oaklawn surface too the last time he tried it. So there's no reason not to pick him here. I think, he is the type. He's going to make whoever beats him earn it. We're going to have to run a really, really good race.
Yeah, he's at Oaklawn Park. He's got 5 wins and 10 starts and 2 seconds. So he's obviously been very, very good at Oaklawn Park. And I think he's one of those horses that I feel like you can trust.
I agree.
Mark says he's never seen a horse who loves 5.5 but hates 6. Such an odd horse. I like Tulane Trist on top, running them down. He's got the Fairground Shipper Angle, but yeah, it is interesting. Mark, the 6 furlongs. You look at some of Hollis's last races. The King Cotton, he was not good at all. Bob's Edge was a horse who just dominated that. Of course, this horse was beating 6.5 lengths. Race prior at 5.5 at Oaklawn, he ran a 109 buyer and just killed him. Looked really good. And then after that race, ran at 5.5 furlongs at Oaklawn, killed him again. And then at 6 furlongs, the horse at Ellis last year, not good. I mean, it's just the 6 furlong mark. He has won at it. He has won at 6 furlongs at Oaklawn Park. So it's not like he can't do it. It's just for whatever reason here lately, the 6 furlong mark has just not been something that he loves.
It's an oddity. I don't think it's specifically he hates 6 furlongs. I just think he's bounced a few times in those races. It's odd. Like you watch the race where he set the track record at 5.5, 3 starts back. He would have won at a mile that day. Like it didn't have anything to do with the distance. He was just on fire. And the same way with the trip last time out, it's like, yeah, he would have beat those horses if that was a 6 furlong race, no doubt. So it's just one of those odd things. He hasn't run very well when he's been entered in these 6 furlong races. I truly believe he can do it, and he can do it just as well. has improved it. So you're going to look just at the form. There's no way I can argue the point that either one of you makes. He does not run well at this distance. There's no way I can argue it.
But I do agree with what you're saying, and what I said this on the preview that you can find at our Racing Dudes YouTube page. Is I do think Hollis is the class of the race. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of debate behind that, but for whatever reason, maybe the outside draw, maybe he can sit off of it just a tad. Maybe that's enough to get him to kind of, have that kick a little bit later in the race and get home. But it gives you a reason to try to beat him, I think, at least in my book. So I'm on number 3, Greeley and Ben.
Could be a great race.
Yeah, that's going to be. I mean, I get that it sucks not having Derby races, but these 2 races are at least, I think these are fun races to watch and bet. Both provide value, both provide options. So I think you're going to get the kind of the prices you want to play in these races.
Yep, I totally agree. They're Oaklawn specials.
Yeah,
they're tough.
It's kind of feels like they could coin these races. You know what I mean? Like every Oaklawn race like this seems like this year has just been you kind of know what you're going to get.
It's the hardest track in the country to pick winners. I'm telling you, it's not even close. It's not even close. It's the hardest track in the country to pick winners.
All right, let's go to race 9, the Essex Handicap Grade 3 worth $500K. For 4-year-olds and up, we're going 1-1 and 1/16 miles. Field of 8 lines up for this one, Halterman. And again, you got another competitive race. Maybe it's 8 horses, but a bunch of them have shots here. You got 2-1 on Plainsman. Brad Cox has got 2 legit shots in here with Plainsman the 4 and 3 Warriors Charge at 7-2. 7-2 on the 1 horse there. The Diodoro, Thomas Shelby, Tyler Reddy at 12-1. Popular Kid is a 6-1. Rated R Superstar at 8-1. Bo Luminaire for 8-1 for Brissett. And then you got Hinali's Houdini at 10-1. So it's a tough race when you only have 8 horses and the highest price is 12-1 on the morning line. It gives you options here.
I think Brad Cox has him over a barrel in this race, Jared, but I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't. He has 2 really nice horses here. He's got Plainsman, the 4 horse, who's very consistent. He always shows up with a good effort, and he's going to be tough to beat. He's kind of like Greeley and Ben. You can beat him, but he's going to make you earn it. You're going to have to run well. And then he's got Warriors Charge, and you don't know what this horse is ever going to do. He may show up, put his dick in the dirt so fast and not run at all, or he might go out and absolutely blaze and kill him.
Neither would surprise you.
And neither will surprise you. No, I remember I had a chance to go to the NHC. All he had to do was win at Lone Star at a mile, and he broke last. And not just broke last, he was 10 lengths behind when he broke from the gate.
And never tried running the whole race.
No, and never picked up his fucking feet the whole time.
Yeah.
And then the next race, I think he won. So, no, he finished second to Maxfield. So, anyway, that being said, I'm playing both of them in the multis and moving on. But I am going to put Plainsman on top. I like the consistency. This horse has faced some really, really nice horses. Cigar Mile, got beat by those Pletchers, but still ran pretty well. Came here to Oaklawn, won last time out. I like Plainsman. I just like the consistency, but I'm not going to be shocked if he gets beat here.
I kind of think you're spot on there with the 2 Cox horses. I would play the 4 over the 3 just from the fact of it's kind of like Mark says, the 3 is like playing Russian roulette each time. You just don't know what you're going to get. I mean, and it makes it difficult. I mean, if you're playing multis, you either got to have some stones or you got to just suck it up and include that horse because you don't want that horse to beat you. The quotes from Brad this week were he kind of thinks he could win with both of them, or they could finish 1-2 in this race. So, I mean,
thanks,
it's very possible. I wouldn't be surprising at all. Plainsman to me is the one I like, the one I'm going to pick on top as well. Like you said, he's just been most consistent. I mean, he's really ran. You go back. I mean, I think he might even run better. He should run better from the Razorback even. I mean, that was off a layoff and ran really, really well, of course, to win that Razorback. He finished 3rd, only beating 3 lengths. That was a reason he made a lot of sense in the Razorback because he only's beaten 3 lengths in the Grade 1 Cigar Mile to American Revolution and Following Sea. I mean, this horse is a classy horse and is kind of continuing to get better. Rosario back aboard, which I was very happy to see as well. So to me, there is pace in here with Warriors Charge and Thomas Shelby. You know, Thomas Shelby, the one horse, is going to go. I think Plainsman offers the ability to sit very close, but still be tactical and then have that, he's going to grind. That's what he does. He'll grind late. And so he maybe is not you could argue he's not like the most talented of the group. Like maybe Warriors Charge on a peak is more talented, debatable. But he's definitely the most dependable. So that's why I like the Plainsman as well. How about the one horse I kept going back to, and I wanted to at least ask you about this one because as good as Brissett has been at Oaklawn this year, Bo Luminary at 8-1, Luminaire at 8-1, talking about that Tinzel earlier, finished third in that race last year, of course, in December to Lone Rock and Thomas Shelby. But this horse was really, really good kind of prior to that in allowance type races at Keeneland, at Churchill Downs. If we do see some sort of weird like throwdown on the front end, maybe he can run him down.
Yeah, I actually, with Magic and I on the video, I picked that horse as the long shot. I think 8-1's fair, coming off a little bit of a layoff, but that doesn't bother me. And Dave kind of mentioned the Thomas Shelby Warriors Charge. Maybe they do knock heads. They both are going to want the lead. I think each jockey's smart enough to know not to go out there and knock heads just with these two horses only, but you never know. And so if it speeds up, I do think Bo Luminary is kind of the horse that can pick up the pieces late. Maybe not win, maybe hit the board. You got Rated R Superstar there too, kind of the same type of horse. Maybe you kind of get ballsy. You can say, hey, let's play this Plainsman. Let's pick him as the Cox and then put the 6 and the 7 underneath him.
Yeah. And ultimately that was kind of the final nail for me to pick Plainsman, because even though I get that angle, there is going to be enough speed to where maybe it softens him up enough but I don't necessarily trust that horse can run him down. But I do think the 4 Plainsman is very tactical enough to do it. So to me, he's going to be tough. And that's why I picked, I'm with you here. I picked number 4 Plainsman to win the Essex. All right. Yes, Mark. I saw your where did you say that? I wanted to, that's pretty funny. The Peacocks are flying high tonight. St. Peter's. My bracket is fucked. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. It's been a day. It only took 8 hours for me to lose 2 Final Four teams in my national champion.
I've never had a day like this, like an opening day like
I feel like we say that every year.
No, like I usually I have a good first day and I'll get like 12 of them right. And then the next day I get like 5. I have 5 right out of we're at? Well, might get 6. Creighton's in overtime now, but 6 out of 12. I mean, that's horrible. That's if Creighton wins. And
Creighton came back to tie that thing.
Yes, it is tied.
Unreal.
Quick look at our bracket pool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people had Kentucky winning the national title. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 people had Kentucky winning the national title.
14 out of 90, you said?
Mm-hmm. So we are at Thursday night, and we're not at the late games yet. The Thursday night first session, and 15 people have already lost their national championship in our bracket or in our tournament pool.
Yeah, we got Arkansas. They're losing currently. Of course, it's just started, but Arkansas being a 4 seed, 4-13. I mean, gosh, that would just put the icing on the cake for me today if Arkansas were to blow this.
Well, listen, the Spiders have won, the Peacocks have won, the Catamounts would fit in, right? The Catamounts, that would make sense. So.
Jeez, man. Well, if anything else, if you want to look at any silver lining here, I mean, it's going to be a fun couple weeks. I mean, shit.
Honestly, I never bet like the spreads with this. I just fill out the brackets because it's so damn unpredictable. I don't bet this point spreads with this. So I'm with you. Like the bracket's over now. Fuck it. Like I'm just gonna watch these games. They're gonna be a lot more fun. I'll fill out the bracket as I go. So I do it that way.
How's Papa Dude doing here?
Oh, he's doing horrific.
Which person is he? Is he Sooner?
Yeah, he's Sooner 14-20, I think.
The only people that he's beating are people that forgot to fill out their bracket.
He has 3 right.
The only 2 people that he's beating are one of them is freaking Curtis.
Yeah, Magic didn't fill his out. Yeah.
Idiot.
And this other guy was tweeting. He said, "Hey, it's locked this morning." And I went on there like, "It's not locked." He's like, "You're right, it's not. I'm on it now." And it looks like he didn't finish it.
Yeah, I forgot to hit submit on the old bracket submission. So where are you at? How many points do you have?
I have 50.
You got 50. You and I both have 50. But you have 1680 possible left. I'm down to 1100. So.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm doing terrible. Like I said, it's awful. It's awful. But the thing about when Kentucky loses, like you said, that's going to hurt everybody. So that's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I mean the best. Well, obviously, I went back and forth between picking Kentucky or picking Arizona or Kentucky in my finals. And so obviously the ideal situation would have been because everyone's going to have Kentucky for the most part, going to have them in the final, Elite 8, Final 4 maybe. So it's not a big blow, but it is a blow when you're like. I'm usually the opposite. Like I'm usually like I try to pick the upsets, and then later in the bracket I'll have most of the right. I'll have a lot of the right ones because it's more of the like standard teams for a lot. Most of the time. Mm-hmm. But man, I'm down to 2. When's Gonzaga gave me a scare earlier? Shit, man. And then when's Arizona play? They'll probably lose. So
I think they're tomorrow.
Yeah, I save my bracket for tomorrow, I guess.
Well, UCLA is a team I've got going a long ways, Elite 8, I think, and my dad thinks Akron can beat them today. But shit, he can't get anything right, so that's good that he thinks that.
What's the score of the Creighton game?
Creighton game is they're down 2, 68-66, San Diego State.
See, I almost picked I picked Creighton, and I almost picked them to beat Kansas the next round. I'm glad I didn't. Although maybe we'll see. Kansas will probably lose the 16, versus 16. So
see, that's funny because I thought Creighton could beat Kansas, and Creighton doesn't look like they're going to beat San Diego State. So.
That's gotta love it, man. Obviously that's a wrap, right, on the show. Of course, go to racingdudes.com for more, and if you're playing this tournament with us, so you can follow along. Of course, Racing Dudes Premium, get that at racingdudes.com. Click the big button. Speaking of Racing Dudes Premium, and speaking of tournaments, we have a cool new addition to the site here, or at least part of the bonuses you get as being a subscriber. So if you are a premium subscriber, Racing Dudes Premium subscribers, so that means Soma Bombs, Rockets, just regular, any kind of monthly, every 3 months, whatever it is. If you're a premium subscriber, you can now compete against us, me, Samich, Halterman, Magic, if he remembers to submit his picks. The team the Racing Dudes team, you can compete against us on horse tourneys, pick and pray tournaments and horse tourneys. We're going to do bi-weekly tournaments every Friday starting April 1st. So the first one's April 1st, and it's going to be the featured tournaments that Horse Tourneys does for that day. And you can prove yourself to us. You can win cash prizes. It's going to be $10 to enter, so you get the exclusive ability to enter these tournaments, and then $10 to pool goes in, obviously, plus a $150 bonus site credit to Horse Tourneys for each winner of that. We're going to do this for the next couple months, and the goal here is to see this thing flourish and people like it, enjoy it. And we're gonna make this into a massive thing, and kind of a qualifier each week or every other week, and qualify for something major at the end of the year. But right now, it's just going to be these bi-weekly tournaments. So if you are a Racing Dudes Premium subscriber, go to racingdudes.com. just subscribe to any of our monthly packages. It's a good time to do it anyways with the Derby coming up and all the guides. You get those for free as well. It's a good time to do it. So you can get those included. Plus, you can be entered in all these tournaments that we're going to be doing in the coming months. Remember, April 1st is the first one. Make sure you go, if you are a subscriber already, go into your dashboard. You'll see the link in there that gets you signed up on the Horse Attorney's website. All right. Remember, we are your destination for all free horse racing picks, and apparently not great NCAA bracket picks either. But we are good at horse racing. We're on Twitter at racing_dudes, Instagram and Facebook. You listen to all the episodes of Blinkers Off by visiting our podcast page on the website, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the same places you guys listen to your podcasts. Of course, you can watch all these episodes as well on our YouTube channel on YouTube. Just search Racing Dudes. Remember, go check out the Magic Mike Show on all those same platforms. They did Saturday, Gulfstream Park late pick 4. So they did a little late pick 4 action at Gulfstream Park on Saturday. We covered some Oaklawn Park action. So, no Derby stuff, but we do have some picks to give you around the country. Final thoughts, Halterman?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the good news is if your bracket is busted, just go back to horse racing. We had a really good day today at Oaklawn. We had a good day at Gulfstream as well. Hit pick 5s at Gulfstream, or hit a pick 5 at Gulfstream and a pick 4 at Oaklawn on just an $18 ticket. And the pick 5 at Gulfstream was on a $72 ticket. So we're locked and loaded with racing. And listen, your bracket's busted, no big deal. Just head on over to racingdudes.com and play the races instead of the stupid basketball. Just watch the basketball.
I wanted to show you guys a new, if you're watching this, make sure if you're listening to this, I should say, make sure you go to our YouTube page and watch this, or just go to racingdudes.com and click it on any of the free pages. But if you look at here, and I'll take that shit off the page there. But if you look at any of our free pick pages, we've now added something to the top that kind of gives you an idea of how each track is performing from a premium pick level. So obviously Tampa Bay, I text Halterman this morning. I was like, damn, son, doing all right at Tampa Bay. We hit a big pick 5. That's why you see that pick 5 there at 47,958. But it gives you an idea of exactly how everything's going at that particular track. So you can see here at Tampa Bay Downs, year-to-date winnings over $105,000. The exactas, 3,000, trifectas, 9,300, supers, whatever, 49,000 in the last week. And every track obviously will give you that information. You just go to our free picks page, click the track you bet, and obviously Aqueduct is going to show you, and it's going to have you all that kind of stuff too. So it kind of gives you an idea if you're a pick 5 player, pick 4, whatever you are, how we're doing. What kind of bets are doing well, and of course you can access all the bets that we're going to give for each race there at racingdudes.com. And again, if you want to find out how everything's doing, you can just scroll on down here to kind of an overall view here. It shows you exactly month to date this week, 88,000. Obviously yesterday it resets, and then like the likely winners and in the money, how we're doing 79% with our likely winners we give out in our premium picks. So just kind of a better way to give you guys an overall view of how everything's doing with our premium pick level. So a couple new additions there on the website. So make sure you go to racingnews.com, hit up that premium section. This is a good time to do that. Be a subscriber. You get access to that. You get access to the tournaments. Tons of shit going on. I was kind of hoping this weekend. I was like, you know what? No racing. It's gonna be, we'll be watching some, but I'll be, watching my bracket. Like shit, man. I just get drunk now. I mean, I don't know. Like,
I would just open up, anything but Twin Spires and just fire away at the races instead.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully your brackets are doing better than ours. And obviously we'll be back next week for another podcast, the Blinkers Off podcast. We'll be doing Derby talk, of course. Got big preps to talk about next weekend. We'll be on probably live. I think we're going to be live, or we're going to be doing an instant reaction video. So make sure you keep an eye out for that on our YouTube page for the draw. The Louisiana Derby draw is this weekend, which is awesome. So it gives us a head start.
Yep. Instant reaction, which I just found out about. I didn't know we were doing that. I found out a little bit earlier today. And then, we'll probably have some, reaction videos on YouTube of the 2 stakes races at Oaklawn as well.
Mark says the dog looks more tired than Kentucky did. So there you go.
She's restless today,
Kind of
Mark.
late. It's kind of late for Philly to be up, isn't it?
It's late. That's why she came upstairs. She wants her good night treat and to go to bed. She goes to bed at 9:00. So,
all right.
Well, it's 9:02. So
she's right on cue. It's 9:00. So we need to get off here.
Yeah, Philly. Hey, you want your treat? Nope, she's not paying attention.
All right, guys. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm Jared Welch. He's Aaron Halterman. She's Philly Halterman. Good luck this weekend.
This has been a presentation of RacingDudes.com, your destination for all things horse racing and sports betting. Whether you want free winners, expert insider picks, up-to-the-minute trackside weather reports, or podcasts and videos for bettors of all skill levels. Never make another wager without visiting the Racing Dudes. First,